Hello, my loves. My name is Leah, and I have been working with crystal sound for a little over 7 years now. I sell crystal bowls, I play crystal bowls, I've been doing sound healings all over the world, and I have also spent a lot of money on crystal bowls. I know how confusing and overwhelming it can be to buy a crystal bowl. One, because it's quite an investment. Two, there is so much information out there on the internet. It can be overwhelming and confusing, whether you are a seasoned sound healer or you are completely new to this. So I decided to make this video a little bit to give clarity on how to buy a crystal bowl. I will go over so many different things in this video because let's face it, it's pretty overwhelming. I'll go over 432 versus 440, different tunings, chakra sets, white frosted bowls versus clear or alchemy bowls, what an alchemy bowl is, if you want to put a gemstone in your bowl, all types of different stuff. You can look down at the menu and skip ahead if you have a specific question, or feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. Buying a bowl can be really confusing, and I don't blame people. There is so much information and it's honestly really overwhelming, especially if you do not have a musical background, which, by the way, you do not need a musical background in order to play crystal bowls. You will learn, but in order to play, you don't need that background. Anyone can do it. This is really beautiful, accessible medicine. That's another reason why I really feel called to make this video, is because a lot of websites price bowls super high and inaccessible. And I feel it's a really great injustice. And there's a lot of false light around this. More expensive does not mean more potent. And I'll get into this later. This is really beautiful medicine that the world does need right now. And the more people that play crystal bowls, the better, because we can really raise the frequency of our planet, of our Mother Gaia, and of ourselves. We are all mini cosmos. Let's start out with a really big misconception that I want to clear away right now, okay? That is that the bowl does not make the practitioner. The practitioner makes the bowls. You can have the most beautiful set of crystal bowls in the world and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, but if your energy is not aligned, if you do not have presence, it does not matter. And I think in this age of consumerism, of Amazon, of let me buy that and I'm going to embody that, it doesn't work like that when it comes to sound healing. This is also key when it comes to picking your bowl. Oftentimes we'll see a bowl that someone else has and we're like, I want that one. Maybe that bowl actually is for you, but maybe you just want it because they have it. There's a really big difference in discernment and listening between wanting something like wanting a designer bag that someone else has versus actually tuning into the frequency of that thing and feeling it as something that resonates with your soul, that your soul needs, or that your soul wants to incorporate and share with the world and the grid around you. I have had incredible bowls that are white frosted babies that are very simple, that have done profound healings. And oftentimes I have people that do my courses, that do my voice work courses, that do my sound healing courses, and the first thing they'll say to me is, I have crappy white bowls from Amazon. And my answer is, why are they crappy? And oftentimes when people spend a lot of money on bowls, what happens is that their ego needs to create a story around that those are actually better, when more expensive does not always equal better in this world of sound healing. There is something to be said to buy from quality, the story of what you buy something from, the value that you give to it, but also be aware and be wary of this false light of people putting huge brand names on things. I have a fashion background. I love beauty. It's very important to me, and I do not think it's superficial. Beauty is harmony in the 3D. And some of these crystal bowl suppliers remind me of when I used to work in luxury fashion, of getting something made in China and then having the last step of it made in the US and then stamping their label on it and adding an 80% markup. I wish it was not like this, but it is. And this is just a big distortion to be aware of. Be discerning when buying your bowl. So let's start with white frosted bowls and why I love them so much. Let me start out by saying that white frosted bowls are not better than other bowls, okay? They're just different, and they offer a really wide variety of things that other bowls do not. So for those of you who do know me or don't know me, I have a background in crystal therapy. I studied crystals way before I got into this world of sound. And in the world of crystal therapy, the master is the white quartz crystal. Why is that? One, it is the most abundant mineral, if not the second most abundant mineral on the earth. So that tells us something. We as humans, we need it. It has the power, or the capacity, shall I say, to hold and store information. It also has the power and capacity to hold and store information. It has a dual meaning. So that means it has information already stored in it from being in the earth. And we can also program this thing. That's why the cell phone is made of that. That is why satellites are made from that. That's why the watches are made from quartz, because it is a very, very interesting material. Notice how I said two-way street. The bowls are the same. They have messages, unique messages from the earth they want to share with us. Not a lot of people talk about that. And two, they are chargeable. These colorful ones also have unique messages and are chargeable. However, the difference is that it comes already with a color, with a mineral, with a code, okay? So this is like a blank slate. It's something that you can charge. Think about clear water versus flavored water, okay? Clear water, everyone can drink a glass of just normal water. Flavored water, water with electrolytes, water with vitamins, water with supplements. It may be good for some people, other people it may not be good with. So this is a steady horse. The other thing I want to say about these bowls is that they are more affordable and they are very dependable. What do I mean about dependable? Is that oftentimes there's this thing that's called overtones, okay? These bowls really do not produce overtones. When you play this bowl, you get a steady sound that comes out of it. Just one note. Just tune in. Has really good resonance. They're easy to play for beginners. The colorful, more thin bowls, it's not that they're bad. They can just sometimes be a little bit more fickle. I always bring me personally one with me to every sound healing that I do, because I feel that they are just a steady presence. For me, this is a master because it comes from pure white quartz crystal. There's nothing else inside of that bowl. I sell white frosted bowls, and a lot of people may be like, oh, what a waste. Like, I can just get one on Amazon. You can, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, I sell these bowls because I have a really good supplier. You get a guide if you buy it from me on how to activate it, how to clean it, how to go deeper in relationship with this bowl. And I sell them also because for me, they are a staple in my sound healing setup. They are not a staple for everyone, and that's okay. We all have different schools of thought, and I'm not trying to say I'm right, she's wrong. This is just my POV. Be open to listening to your own channel, because that is a really important key. Now let's talk about colorful bowls, okay? So when it comes to colorful bowls or alchemy bowls, let's start out by talking about this word, alchemy bowls. Alchemy bowls is a brand name that is from a very big, famous crystal bowl company. You may have heard of them. I'm not going to say their name in this video. But basically, an alchemy bowl has then been extended to any bowl that is colorful. Now, alchemy bowls can be an alchemy. What do I mean by that? These colorful bowls that I have right here, and I have many, they are made of pure quartz, and then there's usually a color infused or different colors infused inside the bowl. Sometimes there can also be a mineral that is infused inside the bowl. Sometimes also these bowls are colorful and there is a mineral infused inside of this. That is also an alchemy because it is a mixture. This just means that white quartz is present. However, there has been an alchemy that has been made in the form of a color, in the form of another mineral, or minerals. There are some companies that put lots of minerals inside of them. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'm just going to give you a few things to reflect on. Oftentimes we get really caught up in the aesthetics and the beauty of something and the authenticity of something. First, when it comes to a color, if you are genuinely attracted to a color, you should get that color. Your higher self may be wanting that color. Sometimes our aura can be deficit in certain colors. Color is a frequency. So if I am, for example, bringing this bowl, this is a golden orange sunshine, like sunset hue with rainbow tones in it. So when I play this bowl, it's not only carrying a note, but it's also carrying a very specific color encoded frequency. It's also carrying a crystalline frequency. So there is an alchemy, there's a mixture of things that it's bringing through. Oftentimes people who sell bowls will give these bowls names. For example, they'll call it Egyptian Golden Sunset. And sometimes I think these names are great because they really represent what it is. Other times I find that these names can be quite limiting and not representative of what it actually is. Names are so important. They really define something. When we are working with crystalline frequency, we are working with really ancient technology that us as humans, we are only beginning to decipher what that means. If a company is producing 5,000, 10,000 of these bowls and calling them all by the same name, that may be a good starting point for you to listen, and it may actually be reflective of what that bowl is. Or it may just be marketing sauce. It really depends on the bowl, the integrity of the maker. For example, if I get a message to create bowls with dolphins on them in a specific frequency because they want to be seated, and I decide to call that bowl Atlantean Dolphin Frequency, I will do that. But I will also invite you to really sit with that co-creation that I have made and go beyond it. Because when people are calling something an Atlantean blah, 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 or whatever, we're talking about a huge timeline here. That can mean so many different things. So if you are buying from a catalog, don't stop at the name. Allow yourself to be open to what really wants to come through. The second thing that I want to talk about under this framework of alchemy bowls is minerals in a bowl, because so many people ask me to put minerals in bowls. I do custom crystal bowl orders. I'll talk more about that later. But the point is one, if you want to put a mineral in a bowl, you can. Just take, for example, a little tumbled stone, this is a hematite, and put it inside your white frosted bowl. You can play it. It will emanate that frequency out. There's no need to get an alchemy bowl actually made with the mineral inside of it. You can, but the point is if I can just take this and do this, why would I get that mineral infused inside of it? Oftentimes there's two answers to this question. One, your soul really wants that frequency in a strong way and you want to have that bowl. Okay, yes, let's do it. Two, the other route sometimes is, I see it, I want it, it's pretty, yes, it's more powerful. There's, again, a lot of discernment here. After working with crystals deeply and just being able to tune myself, and I still am tuning myself, I'm not a guru or an expert, I'm just doing the path and sharing what I can. When I put this on my body, I can feel the frequency of hematite. Many people want these crystal infused bowls with, and they ask for things like a bowl with tanzanite or moldavite or rose quartz mixed with amethyst, and they don't even know what that means. What that means, what a crystal frequency means, is not reading it on the internet or reading it in a book. Crystalline language is deeply embodied. And so if you're wanting a bowl that has moldavite in it, or you're wanting a bowl that has a sunstone in it, my invitation is really to sit with that mineral first, put it inside of your white frosted bowl and listen to it. Really listen, feel it with your heart and say, do I really want that? And if it's a yes, yes, but also be aware that some of these high frequency stones, like moldavite, for example, they're wild. Also labradorite. To play those bowls every single day is going to be a really strong frequency, because remember, quartz amplifies to bring into your own space, to bring into a healing space. And you really want to understand and have a deep embodiment of what you are playing. So if you're wanting to order a bowl that's some mixture of different stones and crystals and requests and blah, 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 ask yourself, is this because my mind is telling me it will be better? Or from an embodied inner place of listening, is this what I actually want? Because they're two very different things. The last thing I'll say in this YouTube video about colorful bowls is just to be aware of, if you're ordering one, is there's a difference between something that is solid and something that is clear. So for example, this bowl is transparent. This bowl is solid and it's multicolored. Don't worry about it being multicolored. Let's just look at the fact that they are solid versus something clear, okay? When something is clear, the clearer something is, the faster the frequency is of it. That does not mean that it is better. It means that it's faster. The more opaque that it is, the slower the frequency is, the more grounded it is. Again, this is not better or worse. Oftentimes, star seeds, as super connected out there ones, I know this because I have been this one. We want, like, I want the high frequency, I want the moldavite, I want this, yeah, I want to be up here. But again, that is not always what is better. Oftentimes we actually need something more grounding and soft and slow, although we may be attracted to this. My advice is to always go for what you feel, but if you are undecided over getting something, if you're undecided over choosing something clear or choosing something that is opaque, know that those are the differences energetically. Also, sometimes these bowls do not open up right away. I've had many people buy bowls and then come to me and say, my bowl is faulty, it doesn't work, it's not playing. Your bowl is never faulty. It just sometimes needs a minute to open up to you. I want you to think of a bowl like a baby or a bowl like an animal. Some dogs, some cats, they're really friendly to everybody and they let everybody pet them, while other dogs, cats, babies, they do not want to be touched by everybody, and they need a little bit of time before they understand your field. So I have bought bowls before that don't open up to me, that I play them and they're like really loud or really soft, and that just means that we're still getting to know each other. There's many things you can do to deeper connect with your bowl, to get a bowl to open up, to understand its meaning, to decode it. And I get into that in a lot of my trainings, one-on-ones, and courses. Let's talk about tuning systems. 432 hertz, 440 hertz, 528 hertz. This is the biggest misconception that there is. People do not understand. And for certain brains like me, it is really hard to understand this. What do I mean for certain brains like me? I'm not good at math at school. It took me a long time to learn musicality. I had to learn a backwards way. I am a feminine learner. So I'm gonna make this as simple as possible, okay? There are tuning systems, okay? 432, 440, 528, there's other ones too. But in the crystal bowl world, the ones that you'll hear the most are 432, 440, and 528, okay? It just is how the relationship of your bowls is, okay? So without making it too complicated, these numbers that I'm talking about are hertz, okay? Hertz means how fast is something vibrating, okay? And when it comes to music, we have notes on a scale, and these notes are separated by hertz, by the amount to which they are vibrating. Back in the day, when there were all these orchestras going on and the world started to get closer together, musicians said, oh, we need to find a tuning system so that everyone's instruments, all the notes, are tuned to the same amount of hertz. Because if you think about it, 440 and 432, there's only a difference of 8 in between there. So it may not sound like a lot, but they wanted to make sure that all the musical notes on a scale were all tuned to the same thing. So 432 hertz or 440 hertz is not a bunch of sounds. It's actually one specific note or sound. And I'll link a video below. It's called a Hertz oscillator, so you can hear that, because a lot of times people think that 432 is like a song, and it's just the tuning of a song, specifically one note, and that note is A4 or La. And that note, that A, is either tuned to 432 or to 440. And then respectively, proportionately, like fractures in high school, all the other notes are then tuned to that. So you'll hear a slight difference in tuning. 528 is another tuning, and you tune the C5. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it doesn't matter, but you'll tune the C5 of your crystal bowl set to that 528 hertz, and it's a very high-pitched sound. And then the rest of your bowls will be in scale with that. Let me back up and say some stuff now. If you're undecided on which tuning you like better, there's so many videos. You just type in YouTube 432 versus 440 listening. I'll link a few below. Just tune in. What do I actually like more? There's so many sound healers that are going to tell you, I like this better, or no, I like this better, or this 432 hertz will heal you. Look, there's also many cymatic experiments online and in person, whatever. There's many cymatic experiments that show sand or show water, and they show really beautiful cymatic patterns. And they show how 432 hertz is more beautiful, how it's more healing, how 440 was the system that was invented and it's gonna give us cancer, whatever. Honestly, this is how I invite everyone to think and to feel into it. Us humans, we are all very unique. There is no one size fits all for everyone. Otherwise, we would have found the cure for everything right now and we'd all be illuminated and off the earth. We are all different, with different wounding, with different stuff that goes on inside of us. So 432 may be the healing frequency for you, but for me, it might sound very disturbing. Also, it's such a small difference that you may not even notice it. It's just important to know what tuning your bowls are in if you ever want to collaborate with someone else, if you decide to buy a surety box, if you decide to buy another sound tuning instrument, because you generally want things to all be tuned to the same thing. 528 is another frequency that some people say is the God frequency, miracle frequency, but it's just one tone. It's not all your bowls are 528 hertz. No, only one is. And to decide which tuning you want, just listen to different tunings and feel what feels best for you. There is no right or wrong. Truly. Last thing I want to talk about are specialty bowls like Grails and Chalices and therapy bowls, or water bowls, as I like to call them. These are just different type of practitioner bowls. The Grail is actually empty inside, and sometimes you can get a custom engraving or something printed on it. These are deeply feminine. They really bring you into yourself and remind you that you are this chamber for sound. They're connected to a lot of feminine mysticism and other things. If you feel attracted to one of these are also really good for walking around the room, for doing different ritual work. These as well, these I call therapy bowls. I'm not sure what other people call them. This is a really tiny one. I also really like using these for water work. I do a lot of work with the water. I love to charge water, bless water, give water back to the earth as an offering. And these actually do hold water. The other good thing about a therapy bowl is they're really good for repairing holes in the aura or just putting sound in a concentrated place, because it has this ability to do this because you can hold it. This I recommend more for cleaning space. Also, it kind of acts like a vacuum cleaner when you're walking around the room. Let's say you're doing a group sound healing, you can walk around the room with it and just like sweep through people's mats and just make sure that there's no energetic cords. This is more for one-to-one work, personal work. Also, group settings can be good, whatever it is that you feel. How to choose what to buy. Ta-da! This can be a really intense process, especially if you are new to this. The most important thing is that you're listening to yourself and you're listening to your higher self. Usually I say trust your gut, trust the first thing you're into. The second thing is if you are going to buy more than one bowl, you want to have some harmonies in there. You want to make sure you have some space. What do I mean by that? Do not buy only 2 bowls that are this like notes that are touching, because if you do that, you're gonna just have tension and it's gonna feel like crap. I also had a girl who bought bowls that were all sharp notes. And she was like, I feel so lost. And I'm like, well, that's because you have all sharp notes. You should have just a grounding set of harmonies, like 2 bowls that make a harmony. And in that way, you're good to go. When it comes to color, when it comes to white frosted, when it comes to other things, it's important that you tune into your higher self. When I look at bowls, I'm not looking at a chakra chart. When it comes to the whole chakra system, for me, that's actually BS. That's never been proven anywhere. It just makes people buy bowls easier. It's such an easy marketing hack to be like, this is for your solar plexus. Oh, you have a willpower problem? There. This is for your heart chakra. Oh, your heart's broken. I need that. My voice is blocked. I need a throat chakra bowl. It doesn't work like that. Where you're actually going to feel a bowl in your body is going to tell you so much more than any chart. However, if I buy this bowl and I tell myself that it is a solar plexus bowl, guess what? It's going to work on my solar plexus, because intention is very, very powerful. However, it's important to really tune in and feel where I actually feel it, not where someone else is telling me to feel it. I really just invite you to tune in with you. And this is also why I offer consultations. I started offering consultations because when I first started buying my crystal bowls, I bought through a trusted source who held my hand. I bought through one of my teachers, and she really helped me and gave me bowls. And sometimes I would say, I feel like I need something new. What is it? But I was so out of touch with myself, with my listening, that I didn't even know what I needed. So I was accompanied, and I find that these bowls, when really listened to deeply, are life-changing. They can be life-changing, life-altering, and having a guide in that process can be really, really powerful. So if this feels still overwhelming to you, I do offer one-on-one consultations. We usually go over what your goals are, what your budget is, what you want to use them for. We do a dropped-in meditation where you visualize and feel. I usually can also tell what you need. A lot of times it's interesting to like feel into the field of the person, because we'll start to just understand what crystalline frequencies want to come through. I can also help you to kind of decode what will be coming through for you. So for example, this bowl for me represents womb energy. It represents the energy of Saint Germain, the energy of creation, the energy of amethyst from Veracruz, Mexico. Even though it does not have any amethyst in it, it still has that frequency. This is something though that I have sat with and decoded and co-created together. So oftentimes there's certain energetic frequencies that want to come through. This one, for example, after sitting with it, it really works on a lot of inner child wounding and repatterning, a lot of stuff, deep layered inner child stuff. So there's things like that, themes like that we also can go into and understand what it is that you really need. Because when you're bringing a crystal frequency into your life, especially with sound, you are turning something on inside of you that already exists. We are everything. I am. But there are parts of us that are still dormant. There are parts of our blueprint that still need an activation. But that still need an activation. Through meditation, through the path of becoming, through the path of oneness, we can get there through meditation. However, crystal bowls and crystals are an ally on our path to color in parts of us that are perhaps a little bit dormant. An example of this that I love to share is tiger eye. Tiger eye, that frequency of the tiger eye mineral. If you get a bowl that has that tiger eye look to it, feel to it, not everyone has tiger eye in them. Tiger eye brings out this ferociousness. Imagine a lion defending her baby cubs. She's like, no. Oftentimes people who have trouble with asserting their yes and their no, they need tiger eye. Someone who is already ferocious AF, they do not need a tiger eye. Tiger eye is something that you will work with for maybe a year, 2 years, and then you're like, okay, tiger eye, I got you, I learned from you, I absorbed from you, I'm ready to get rid of you. I find that alchemy bowls also move through me quicker. This one that has to do with inner child work, and because I am a sound facilitator, I keep it because the inner child, that stuff comes up again and again and again and again. Other types of frequencies, though, have moved through me pretty quickly. I get it, I absorb it, and I actually notice a big shift within myself. And then if it's just a personal bowl, I'll often sell it, or I will keep it just for healing purposes. I do have a small catalog online, but I do not have a big one. I don't really want you shopping for crystal bowls in the way that you shop for shoes. This is a very sacred process. And so I invite you to really sit with the sacredness of ordering this. I think consultations are beautiful. If you want a consultation, I can make anything. I work with 6 different crystal bowl suppliers. And just to let you know, crystal bowls are made in China. Almost all of them. Even if they say they're made somewhere, even if they say they're made somewhere else, they are made in China. The best suppliers in the world are there. I do have a few things that you can readily buy online. If you feel it, go for it. However, I love the integrity of this work. I love selling it. I have some mini collections as well that have wanted to be seeded through me that you can buy. But just know that when you buy a crystal bowl from me, it's slow. It might take a month to arrive. And that's okay. Not everything is see it, get it, do it. Sometimes things take time. And when things take time, we often value them more. So if you decide to buy a bowl from me, you can buy directly from my website. You don't have to chat with me. If you do decide to do a consultation call, I have a link below where you can sign up for that. We have about an hour together on Zoom. I say about an hour because if the session finishes earlier, it finishes earlier. If it finishes later, it finishes later. I don't like to be too attached to time. I like to give things the time that they need with some boundaries. And I get to know you. I get to know what you want, what you like, what you're feeling. And then we start to narrow down options. I send you a few options. We listen to recordings, we listen to the sound, and I help you to build a set that feels good for you. We put in the order. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks for things to get to you. Sometimes they come faster, sometimes slower. Should you buy from other people online? There are pros and cons to this. I have bought things and bowls on Amazon and instruments, and I have been so happy with them. I've also bought instruments and things from Amazon and Etsy, and it has been a nightmare. I think this is for a few reasons. One, when you bring a crystal frequency into your life, it is a big deal. When I ordered my crystal harp, I ordered it from Etsy and it wouldn't play. I ordered it from the Czech Republic and the guy just wouldn't answer me. And to send it back, it was so expensive. And I had this harp just sitting. Then something happened with his wife. Someone passed away. And I just had like this $1,000 investment sitting in my closet that I couldn't play. I didn't know what to do with it. Until about 5 years later, I met a girl who made harps out of wood and like little strings. And her boyfriend and her would like redo them. They still do them. If you want the context, I'll link below. Anyway, so I said to her like, hey, I got this crystal harp and I don't know what to do with it. It won't play. And she completely reconstructed it for me. This is because crystal instruments are a big frequency in your life. I was not ready for that frequency when it came. And also the person that I bought it from, it just wasn't a match. So I think it's important to really trust what you're buying, to know who you're buying from, to feel it. I also one time bought a bowl on Amazon and it was so expensive and I wasn't able to return it, and then I was just stuck with it and I really didn't like it. It was not what it said on the description. It was completely different. I've also bought on Amazon and been really happy. When I first was living in Mexico, I wanted a white frosted set and it was the most convenient thing and it turned out well. So use your own judgment. It can actually go both ways. I will say that most bowls do come from the same manufacturing ecosystem, so please be aware of that when buying a bowl. The most important thing is that you trust yourself and you trust who you're buying it from. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are looking to buy a bowl, a white frosted bowl, an alchemy bowl, study crystal sound healing, I have all my links below. Also, if you would learn to facilitate crystal sound healing, I do this program a few times a year. I also offer in-person immersions. I do not offer in-person facilitations at this time. It's way too much information to pack into 5 days or just even 2 weeks. I'd rather do it online and go slow and then offer in-person experiences where you can immerse yourself, but I'm not going to certify someone in 5 days. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I just want to add that sometimes people think that buying this bowl is like the beginning of their sound healing journey. But it's the beginning of a relationship. And if you choose to buy from me, I will continue to hammer this in that these bowls are so much more than just a healing for your chakra and a note. It is the most beautiful relationship and path back home to yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. I send you lots and lots and lots of crystalline love. Check out my other videos if you want to hear my sound healing, and have a beautiful, beautiful day.